Okay, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So this is going to be the first video in regards to the actual practical steps in order to begin necromancy. So basically, I'm just going to start explaining what we have set up. This is everything that you should have as well. So I'm going to point it out. First thing first, we have the 34 clear quartz crystals, okay, that are in a circle. This is going to be the circle of the magician. So this is exactly what we're going to be standing in. Next thing we have is the 4 directional tarot cards to make sure we understand where north, east, south, and west is. So we have pentacles for north, wands for east, fire, cups for south, water, and swords for west, air. Okay, that's the first thing we got. Okay, next thing, we have the orb. This is what we're going to be trapping energies within, trapping spirits, trapping archetypes, putting spells, putting rituals into this orb. This is going to be our gateway to the 5th dimension. So you could think of this as being like a generator towards you increasing your power. So this is going to be very important. So you have your orb. Then you have your wand, wooden wand. Once again, if you're looking to develop your wand, I have the video on my YouTube channel that explains exactly how to do that. So yeah, you have the wand that is broken off from the tree. This is what we're going to be using to cast spells and to move energies, command spirits with the wand. Very powerful. So we have that. Now, this is the entire list of all the past dead magicians that we are going to be sourcing and putting inside of our orb, okay, to program these energies from all these past magicians, take all the power that they've developed during their lifetime from every ritual that they've ever done and however else that branched off into the occult field. We're going to be calling up their spirit. We're going to be calling up their energy, their archetypal energy field, and then we're going to be commanding it to go inside of our orb and then become a part of our energy field and to take all the power that they've ever developed and put it into ourself and make it so that everything they've ever done now benefits us as the new magicians that are currently alive. Okay? So once again, this is the list of the names. Right after this video, I'm going to be taking pictures of every one of these pages so that you can copy this list. And once I teach you how to do the practice itself, then we're literally going to be going through every single one of these magicians. Okay? And this should take some time. This is not going to be a quick practice. Obviously, the more seriously you take it, the faster you're going to be able to go through it. But this is a pretty long list of people. So yeah, we're going to be going all the way through all of them to make sure we get as much power as we possibly can. And one of the reasons why we are going to be starting with necromancy is because we want to begin programming our orb with death energy. Okay, so death is going to be associated with the hidden sphere of death, and you need death energy to create successful transformation or to create 100% successful manifestation. So we're starting with necromancy because we're going to take all these past magicians that are dead, which is going to link us into death, and we are going to be placing that death energy from their spirit as we conjure them up, and then that death energy, the spirit of the dead magician, will be trapped in our orb to then increase our power because we've linked the orb to ourself. And once again, all of these crystals have been activated. I gave you the grail patterns to do that, and I taught you how to awaken your crystals, how to activate your crystals. Once again, that video was released before this one. That was literally I believe that was the second video that I released. Yes, it was the second video that I released on how to wake up your crystals, and basically that links you to them. So this orb is now linked to you because you started off with waking up your clear quartz crystal that you should have. Clear quartz, you place the grail patterns within it, and then what you did was you touched every one of these 34 crystals, and then you touched your orb crystal at the end. Boom, transfer the energy into it. So now it's activated. And then you also did the same thing with your darker crystals as well. Smoky quartz. Once again, you placed the grail patterns within the dark crystals, took it, transferred the energy. If you want to know how to charge your crystals, make sure you watch that. I believe it says part 1, awakening your crystals, okay? Because that's very important to begin this process, okay? So now the next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating our triangle of art, okay? So basically, we are going to be using 3 smoky quartz to do this. So I have 3 smoky quartz right here, okay? And this is going to form a triangle. So the way that I'm going to place these on the ground, I'm going to shape it so it creates a triangle, okay? Now, the direction that this triangle is going to be pointed towards, that's what's going to be important to understand. So when you have something going towards the north, that's going to be real number space. That's going to be the physical plane, okay? When you have it pointed towards the east, the realm of fire, that's going to be known as H space, which is hell-like space, okay? The hell planes associated with the clip-off, the tunnels of Set, things in that nature, destruction. So that's going to be pointed towards the east. If we're going to be pointing it towards the south, that is going to be called time-like space, which is also known as the astral plane, which can also be associated with the realm of the dead, the undead as well. So that would be the south for water. And then if we had it pointed towards the west, that is going to be associated with air. So this would be known as sea space, which can represent creation space. This is where you can create things. For example, that this would be associated with more so the Sephiroth, Universe A, creation, emanation, things in that nature. Okay? So if we're adding things, we can work in C space, which is the west. If we're deleting things, we can work in H space, which is east. Okay? So first thing first, we're going to take our 3 smoky quartz crystals, and we are going to place them in a triangle. Okay? This triangle is going to be facing the south. And the reason for that is because we are working with the dead. So when we call up the spirits of these past dead magicians, we're going to be using our wand to command them to appear into our triangle of art. And I've already explained how that works because of these smoky quartz crystals. They have a natural energetic charge to them that creates what's known as negative torsion fields that pulls energy and sucks energy into them. And when you have a point on these dark crystals, they have points, you can call an energy within the triangle of the smoky quartz, and the energy that you're calling will get sucked into the triangle, so it has to stay within that triangle. Okay, so we're commanding and we're controlling spirits, basically. And you need the triangle to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up right now. So I have my first smoky quartz. This has a point on it. And I'm going to place this right here. And my other 2 are going to be facing like this. Okay. So that is going to be the triangle that we're going to be calling spirits in. And this is very important to use. The triangle is going to be in the realm of time-like space. That's usually where I always keep my triangle because we're working with time-like energies. We're working with astral spirits. So that's why the triangle sits in the realm of the astral. And this is also the realm of the soul as well. And once again, it's pointed towards the south just to symbolize we are going to be working with the realm of the undead, hence necromancy being our first practice. Okay, so first thing first, what I'm going to explain to you is how we're going to be taking the spirit of the dead magician, and I'm going to explain to you how we're going to get them into your triangle of art, and then I'm going to show you exactly what technique you need to use, what technology you need to use with your wand to pretty much break down the spirit and then re-upload the spirit into your orb. Okay, so this is going to be high-level magic. in regards to, there are many occultists that don't know this. This is called 007 magic. So we're going to be using earth energy spirals to move energies. And if you know about spirals, those are directly connected to Fibonacci sequences. And those are also, spirals are also connected with earth energies in general. So there is physics and science that is based around these spirals. And just to give you a quick example of a movie that has been used to kind of throw this out to the mass collective to empower this technique. For those of you that, stay up to date with my channel, you should know by now that movies are ritualistic tools and programs to enhance certain types of occult practices, depending on who's in control of the movie industry or the music industry in regards to those fields. So the movie that is directly associated with this technique of spell casting is going to be a very well-known movie called 007. So when it comes to the seventh term of the Fibonacci sequence, that's going to equate to the number 13. And if you connect the number 13 to the tarot pathway on the Kabbalistic tree, it's going to be associated with death. So once again, when we're using these spirits, we are going to literally be destroying their current energy field when we call it up. And then the other, so we're going to be doing a counterclockwise positive torsion field, meaning the counterclockwise is going to be death and destruction, and we're going to be going around 7 times. Okay, so that's going to break down the spirit once we call it up, and I'm going to be demonstrating all of this. And then we're going to be going clockwise 7 times, and that is going to be re-uploading the spirits into our orb to constantly empower us as the magicians that are using this technology. So once again, the movie that was used to promote this a long time ago was 007. And if you study the occult and you look at the ranks of occultism, there is a level called 007 magician. Okay, so this is the exact reason why this branch of occult exists, is because of this level of science using occult magic, understanding Fibonacci sequences and torsion field technology, which is all based around physics and is all based around science. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to teach you how to do it. So this isn't going to be the full demonstration of where we call the spirit into the triangle of art, but this is just going to be me demonstrating what 007 magic looks like. So for example, you're going to have your wand, and your wand is going to be in your right hand, because the right hand is associated with the white pillar on the Kabbalistic tree, and the white pillar on the Kabbalistic tree is going to be associated with masculine energy, which pushes outwards. Okay, the left side, the left hand, or the left side of the body is going to be associated with a dark pillar on the Kabbalistic tree, which is associated with feminine energies, which receive. So since we're going to be sending out positive torsion fields, a positive torsion field is an energy spiral. You could think of it almost like a vortex that goes outwards, okay? A negative torsion field, still a vortex, still a spiral, is going to be an energy field that sucks inwards, okay? So we're going to be using the right hand at first to create a positive torsion field. So the first torsion field is going to look just like this. You're going to use your wand. We're going to command the spirit into the triangle of art. Once we get the spirit in front of us, we're going to have the spirit in front of us. If you want, you can sit a little bit longer as you have the spirit in front of you within your triangle of art. You can telepathically communicate with the spirit if you are at that level. You can sit, you can try to telepathically communicate with the spirit. And yeah, you can sit and you can, once again, you can try and get information from the spirit. You can do what you want. You can sit down and try to visualize what the magician looks like, just to practice with your psychic abilities. But the main purpose of what we're doing is we are going to, once again, break down the spirit and then re-upload it into our orb. So Once again, if you want to sit and psychically speak to the spirit and see if you can get any information, that's totally fine. But remember what the purpose is of this practice. So we're going to call the spirit up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first torsion field, our first positive torsion field, which is going to be taking our wand, directing it at the triangle of art where the spirit is going to manifest. Okay? So when I demonstrate this for you, I'm going to be able to see the spirit show up because I'm a psychic and I can see those things. And if you are too, then you'll be able to see the same thing. Okay? So first thing, we're going to take our wand, we are going to point it at the spirit, and then we are going to create 7 spirals, first going counterclockwise to break it down. So it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And then that will be the first spiral that we'll create. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pull that energy into our circle. And I will demonstrate this once again so you'll understand. We're going to pull the energy into our circle of crystals. And then we're going to go around counterclockwise 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is programming the energy from the spirit inside the triangle of art, then pulling it into our circle so that we become the source of where we are reprogramming this dead spirit's power and energy that it used to have. So then we're going to, once again, we pull it into our circle, go around 7 times, and then at the last spiral, you push it into your wand, or push it into your orb. Just point your wand at your orb. If you're psychic, you may be able to see this sort of like glow coming from your wand. When I do it, I see like a golden glow, and then I point it at the orb, and I can see the orb light up, and then it starts to get basically like a golden fire around it, okay? Once again, if you're not a psychic, you're probably not going to be able to see these things, but as you develop your power, as you be consistent with these practices that I'm teaching, you will start to develop your psychic capabilities, and you will be able to see things like this. So yeah, once again, it's in there. Okay, cool, done. Now I'm going to be going counterclockwise. So this is going to be, I'm going to be going clockwise 7 times. So what I just did with the counterclockwise 7 is I broke down the spirit inside of my triangle of art. And now what I'm going to be doing, so what I did is I broke down the spirit within my triangle of art, and then I pulled it into my circle, getting it ready to be programmed right within my orb. And then I finished that last spiral, put it into my orb using the wand. That's one side. Now I'm going to be pointing the wand back at the triangle of art, and now I'm going to be going clockwise 7 times. So this is going to re-upload that spirit that I'm calling into my orb. Okay, so here we go. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once I finish with that 7, I pull it down, the energy down. You can visualize like once again, you can visualize a glow coming from your wand, and you can also visualize like almost like a glowing string following. So when you're pulling that energy down, you're pulling it to the edge of your circle. Then you go around clockwise sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Final spiral goes right into the orb. You can visualize that light, that glow coming from your wand, shooting into your orb, lighting the orb on fire, boom. Lit on fire, okay? So now the orb is programmed with that spirit inside of the orb. We re-uploaded it into our orb, which is linked to us, which is going to increase our power. So everything that spirit or that past magician, all the good things that were associated with that magician, all the skills that they had, all the psychic abilities, all the successful rituals, spells, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding they had is now getting programmed into this orb. And since this orb is linked to us, we are going to start integrating those abilities into our energy field. Okay, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more in depth in just a second. So now that we've programmed that energy into the orb, we are going to take the wand, place it in our left hand. Now we're going to pick the orb up, okay? The orb is in the left hand. It was in the center of the circle. Now we're going to take the orb and we're going to place it into the triangle of art where the spirit was called into. So what you should be able to visualize, and once again, I'm going to demonstrate everything from scratch so you understand what's going on, but what you should be able to visualize if you're a psychic is previously the spirit was here. We did our spell casting on it, which means we pulled the essence and all the power from that spirit, programmed it into the orb, linking that spirit to the orb. Now that we pick up our orb and we place it into the triangle, you should be able to see the spirit that was standing here get sucked into your orb. Very similar to Pokemon. You know, when they catch them, they throw their orbs out and then they get sucked in. Very similar technology, okay? So the spirit should get sucked right into there. Cool. Once you can see that spirit getting sucked in, it's all good. If you can't see it psychically, just give it a minute and let it process. It'll get sucked in. Cool. Now you're going to leave that orb there. And once again, I'm going to demonstrate this from scratch. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left hand to create a negative torsion field that's going to suck in energies. And I'm going to be pointing it at the orb. Okay? I'm going to be pointing it at the orb. Right now I'm going to face you guys so you understand. But this would be pointed at the orb. I'm going to be standing in the north. And now what I'm visualizing with my wand in my left hand pointed at the orb that is within the triangle of art that now has a spirit fully inside of the orb, I'm now visualizing energy from the orb coming into my wand, entering into my body, downloading that information and that power into my body. Okay, so once I start with that little bit of visualization, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that energy from the orb to my circle. So I'm not casting any spirals up, up out the orb, but I'm simply just pulling that energy that I'm able to visualize coming from the orb into my wand. I'm pulling it. You can once again visualize like a string of light coming down. And then I'm going to start clockwise. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? And then I go right back to the orb. So I went around 12 times going clockwise. 12 is associated with 1, it's associated with Jupiter. Jupiter has to do with luck, has to do with fortune. So that is also associated with the number 12 is also associated with a very beneficial number of the Fibonacci sequence, meaning it's the Fibonacci that molds very good awareness to the human being. So basically what we're doing is we're tuning the power and the spirit within the orb to tune us standing within the circle for all the beneficial aspects of the spirit that is inside of your orb. So we're tuning all that energy to give us all the good things from that past dead magician, okay? And 12 is also associated with the 12 zodiac signs, so we're also jumping timelines by creating these spirals, which is speeding up the process of literally taking the information of that past dead magician that we've called up and then downloading it completely into our being, okay? So once again, came through, went around clockwise 12 times, finished on the orb. Now we're visualizing sucking in energy again. And at the same time, if you're a psychic, you'll be able to see that your wand is getting more powerful. This is also programming energy into your wand as well, now that it's in the left hand. So the wand is getting, you can see the glow on the wand is getting a little bit stronger. You're pulling energy in. Now you can visualize that string of light coming to the edge of your circle. Boom, now we're going to go around counterclockwise. So going around counterclockwise 12 times is going to eliminate anything that tries to come against you getting all the beneficial power from that spirit that we called up. So for example, if there was anything quote unquote negative about that past dead magician that didn't serve them, that they did magically or psychically or whatever, if they had any magic pushback, this is now programming none of that stuff to be able to affect you or me as the magician that's calling on this energy. So going around counterclockwise 12 times is preventing anything that is associated with, things that aren't beneficial, things that aren't good for us, things that we don't want. It is programming that to not be a reality for us as the magicians. So once again, I'm visualizing that energy coming in from the orb, come to the edge of my circle, then I go around counterclockwise 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom. Then I finish at the orb. I can visualize sucking in that energy a little bit more, pulling it into my body. Once I finish, the wand comes over to my right hand. I go up to my orb. The spirit is completely trapped into the orb. The energy has been completely tuned to be programmed into our orb and into our self, and tuned specifically for all the beneficial aspects of the energies that we're calling on. Once again, associated with the 12 spirals of the Fibonacci, and then the 7 spirals to trap the spirit in the orb. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the orb. We're going to be standing there. The orb is going to be in the left hand for downloading, right hand for uploading. Okay, so left hand, you got the orb there. Now you can visualize a 12 spiral vortex spinning around yourself. So if you can simply just visualize, if you saw the movie Mortal Kombat, you'll notice that when Scorpion died, there was that like spiral vortex of an energy that went around his body, and then he disappeared and went to the astral plane. Very similar type of visualization. You can visualize like a spiral of energy going around yourself 12 times, going around clockwise, and then going around counterclockwise 12 times. So this is just finalizing this uploading from what's now inside of your orb into your being. And then with your wand in your right hand, we are going to take the wand, since the wand has just been empowered, and we're going to move the power within the wand into your body. So now we're linking the wand in your body, taking all the power that was generated from what we just did into the wand, and now we're adding it to your body. So there's a gap right in the human's body that is literally right located where their belly button is. Okay, it's an energy gap. So we're going to fill that gap up with this powerful energy. So simply lift the shirt up, place it right in your belly button. And now you can do the visualization that I told you about with that vortex going around 12 times. Now you can do it, or you can do it while you're standing. It doesn't really matter. But now you just simply want to understand you're putting the energy from the wand, all the power you've gathered, now it's going right back into your body. And over time, this is creating more and more of a link between you and your wand and your orb. Okay? So the more powerful your orb gets, the more powerful you get, the more powerful your wand gets, the more powerful you get, the more powerful you get, the more powerful your orb gets, the more powerful you get, the more powerful your wand gets. Okay? Done. So that is the entire technique. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be demonstrating this for you. Okay, so the demonstration is going to be exactly how you're going to want to do it when you go to practice this yourself. This was just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing, what these spirals are doing, what the energy transfers are doing to you, why we're doing these energy transfers. This is just to give you that intent so you know what's going on. Okay, I don't want to just be doing all this stuff and teaching this without letting you know what's actually happening or why you're doing it. Okay, so intent is extremely important in this situation. So now, once again, I'm going to be demonstrating exactly what we're doing, demonstrating it the exact way you're supposed to do it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so first thing first, there's one thing that I am not going to be able to demonstrate that you need to do when we're doing this practice. And the reason why I can't demonstrate it is because I'm recording from my phone. But what you're supposed to do is that when we are calling up these magicians, and once again, I'm going to have this entire list of dead magicians posted on my Patreon right after I release this video so that you can click on it and look at it. and copy it yourself and go through the same list that I'm going through. What you want to do, for example, I have a dead magician listed right here, Eliphas Levi. So what I'm going to want to do with my phone is I want to go on Google Images or Safari Images or whatever you're using images. If you don't have a phone for some reason, you can literally print out a picture, go to a printer, find a printer, however you need to find it, and print out a picture of this magician. Or if you have a phone, you can just pull up a picture. And then you're going to be using that picture and placing it into the triangle of art. Okay, so that's going to be our link to the magician that we're going to be calling up. Once again, the reason why I'm not doing it right now is simply because I'm using my phone and the printers, I would have to drive to a printer and I'm not doing that right now. So long story short, if it was Eliphas Levi, I would simply go on Safari on my phone, type in Eliphas Levi, there will be a picture that comes up, click the picture, have it full screen, place my phone into the triangle of art. Now we're beginning the practice, okay? So continuing off of that, having the picture of the magician in our triangle of art, now I'm going to be demonstrating exactly what we're going to be going through and also teaching a little bit as we go. So first thing first, as the magician, we are standing in the north. North is linking us to the physical plane. This is linking us to real number, space, reality. So as black magicians, everything we do, we want to make it real, okay? We want to make sure that this is real, this is tangible. So us standing in the north is symbolizing that we're bringing this to a physical reality, okay? So we're taking the power from these dead magicians and making it real by putting that power into our soul and spirit, okay? So here we go. So from the beginning, I'm going to use an example of Eliphas Levi, okay? So I would have the picture into my triangle of arts. I'm standing in the north. I point my wand towards the triangle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Eliphas Levi 5 times. 5 is going to link us to the number of the multiverse. So you have north, east, south, west, and then spirit. So by saying it 5 times, I'm linking to every single timeline. So I can make sure that I'm getting Eliphas Levi into my triangle of art as effectively as I know how. So once again, I'm going to be calling Eliphas Levi, and I'm going to be saying it in a way with a lower tone. And the reason why I'm going to be speaking in a lower tone is because when you add more vibration to your voice, it tends to create a stronger authority between you calling the spirit, okay? Technically, I don't have to be speaking like that. Where I'm at, I can simply just call it Eliphas Levi, come, Eliphas Levi, come, and he will appear. But if I want to take it more seriously, or especially if you are a new practitioner, you want to practice with your voice. So the way I'm going to be doing it in this video is in its most potent form. So what I'm going to start with is this. Eliphas Levi, come. Eliphas Levi, come. Eliphas Levi, come. Eliphas Levi, come. Eliphas Levi, come into my triangle of arts. Okay, so now I can see Eliphas Levi, so I'm going to walk up. You don't need to do what I'm about to do, but you can if you want. I'm going to walk up. I can see his energy field right here. This is called dowsing. So you can feel the energy. So as I get closer, I can feel the heat on my fingers, which shows me he's inside of my triangle of art, but I can also see him. Okay. So the way he's appearing for me right now is he's got a suit on. It's not like a fancy suit, but he just sort of has this like classic look to him. There is like a tannish suit-like jacket he's wearing. He's wearing dress pants as well. And he's got a top hat on. Okay, that's just how he's appearing for me right now. So we're going to start with the first spiral. I've got Eliphas Levi in my triangle of art, who was a well-known past magician. First thing I'm going to start with is our 7 spirals, the 007 technology. So here we go. I've got Eliphas Levi right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into the orb. Cool. Next spiral, clockwise. Now I'm going to upload Eliphas Levi into my orb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the orb. Great. Okay. So right now, Eliphas Levi is talking to me, and he's saying, I'm here to serve you. Okay? So what that tells me, as a magician that can speak to spirits, that tells me that wherever Eliphas Levi is, before I broke him down and re-uploaded him into my orb, was not a good place. Because he is telling me right now that he wants to work for me. He wants to serve me. Because where he's at right now, it seems like he was trapped. Okay? So I've got my orb in my left hand, got my wand in my left hand. Eliphas Levi is still standing in front of me. So now I'm going to come up, place the orb in the triangle, simply step back. Zoop! He got sucked right into the orb with all the other magicians that I've used. Cool. Yep. He's not there anymore. He's in the orb. And I can see in the orb, I can see little like little circles that are sort of like a lightish red color, like a scarlet amber color, and they're all moving around in the orb, and that's their spirits, and that's their spirits and their souls that are now in my orb. Okay, so now I take my left hand, I point it at the orb. I begin visualizing sucking in the energy into my body. At this point, I can see my wand getting a stronger glow because it's pulling the energy out of the orb into the wand. Okay, now I'm going to start with programming it into my circle that I'm standing within. So I'm going to hit that first crystal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And back up at the orb. The wand's getting stronger. Go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm grabbing the orb, coming back to the north. Orb is in my left hand, simply holding it. Now I'm taking my wand, placing it on the gap on my energy field. And now this energy is transferring from the orb in my left hand into my body, downloading the energy of that spirit that we just called up, Eliphas Levi, and then all the energy and power that was sucked into the wand from doing that last bit that we did. Now that is entering into the gap in my energy field, programming that into my energy body as well. So now I'm visualizing 12 spirals going around me, clockwise. And then once that's finished, I'm visualizing 12 counterclockwise. Done. That's simple. Okay? So this simple technique, literally just download it. All of the power, skills, and attributes that are beneficial from this past magician known as Eliphas Levi. And everything he ever did is now working for my benefit. So all the rituals that he previously cast before he died are now under my control and they're programmed to help me on my evolutionary journey from this simple process that I just showed you using very high level magic that most people don't know how to use. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do one more demonstration, except this time I'm not going to be explaining. I'm just going to do the entire demonstration exactly how I do it, as if you weren't even watching me. Okay, so here we go. Samuel L. McGregor Mathers, come. Samuel L. McGregor Matthews, come. Samuel L. McGregor Mathers, come. Samuel L. McGregor Mathers, come. Samuel L. McGregor Matthews, come. Done. Okay. So it's that simple. It really is that simple. And to give you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect after doing something like this is it takes time to integrate. So I don't want you to have the idea that you're just going to wake up and you're going to be this all-powerful magician that has, you know, taken on every full ability of whatever magician that we're calling up. I want you to understand how it actually works, energetically speaking. What we're doing is we are programming, once again, the dead magician into the orb, which is linked with us, and then programming and tuning all of that energy in the orb to go into us to increase our power, our energetic field. Okay, so this is something that in order to energetically cause an effect, it takes time to really integrate into your system. So for some people, it's going to take longer than others. For some people, it's going to happen quicker. Okay, but what you will notice is that within time, there will be signs that will subtly show up, that will show you that what you did actually took a real effect. So let me give you an example of how it worked for me when I first started doing this. I was, obviously doing this practice, and what I realized is I was on YouTube, and I started getting suggested all of these random YouTube videos that I've never really had ever suggested to me before. And these specific YouTube videos were literally on some of these past magicians that I've been downloading into my own soul and spirit, into my energy field. So basically what I'm saying is that is a subtle sign that this is having an actual real life effect, because it's trying to lead me to connect, to learn more about that spirit or about that past magician that I downloaded into my energy field. And simply just scrolling across a video that has the title, This Past Magician in Their History, that's even linking me more to this process of downloading their power and abilities. So once again, that's a very subtle way of understanding that this is actually starting to show physical results. And then there's been many times where I've done this in there's been times where I've done this and just my finances have randomly went up right after I did this, because, obviously as you increase power, that can also correlate to your finances, which is, just a byproduct of it. So for example, there's been times where I've done this and out of nowhere, I get random people that want to do appointments with me, and I get random money that's sent to me out of nowhere. That's been a couple times where that's happened. But mainly, you're pretty much developing the psychic abilities that these past magicians had. And you're going to notice you may start being more inclined to study astrology. You may be more inclined to learn about spirits. You may be more inclined to understand how to cast your own spells, how to create your own spells. A lot of these past magicians, they were pretty fond on trying to learn how to use spells. So that may be another aspect, or even in regards to learning how to use plants to your benefit, whatever it may be. So that's something I want you to understand. It's not necessarily like you wake up and you're a different person. There can be very profound changes and effects that do happen. That's a fact. But this is more so a thing that needs to fully download into your energy field. And as I said, within time, you'll recognize how it becomes more and more and more real. And then I'm sure there will come a point where you're like, holy shit, what I did back then when I was downloading these energies into my orb and into my being, now I'm seeing how they fully took effect. And I can guarantee there will be a point in time where that happens. So that's just, this is how this practice works in a nutshell. Now, if you want to really download those energies from your orb into yourself to a quicker degree, you can keep the orb, and I do recommend this. When you go outside, take this orb, place it into your left pocket, or if you're a woman and you don't have pockets and you have a handbag, you just place it in your handbag, keep it around you. But if you can, try and put it in your left pocket, and then go about your day. So that energy from the orb is constantly going to be downloading into your body throughout the day as you have this orb on you. Or if you want to sleep with it, that's another option. And then simply with your triangle of art, once you're finished, go ahead and collect your triangle. And keep that in your pocket as well. And I've got my other 2 clear quartz crystals in my other pocket. They're always there. And then for your circle, you can keep it out if you want. The more you keep it out, the better. It's just going to be, empowering the circle. I mean, the more you have the circle open, you can think of it like a gateway. This is your gateway to the 5th dimension, and this is your gateway. This is not anyone else's gateway. This is your gateway. So this is strengthening your power just by simply having your circle out. If you can't keep your orb on you for some reason, take your orb and leave it in your circle. That's also another very powerful tool. Leave your wand in your circle. If you can't have your circle out, or whatever the case may be, then just go ahead and collect it and put it somewhere safe. And then whenever you go to do your practices, you can always come to set up your circle again. Okay? So other than that, that's going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it definitely offered you a lot of value, which I'm sure it probably did. And I would love to hear your feedback once you've done these practices. And if you have questions, please feel free to let me know. Okay? Peace.